How are you doing?
Keep talking.
Yeah, I'm just coming up to say hi. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
You're good.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to listen to stories, especially stories from people, stories about people far away, stories that you may have never heard. Thank you for coming. I grew up in Uganda and came to United States almost 40 years ago. I've lived in United States longer than I've lived in any part of Africa. Back in my heart, the back of my whole being, I've always treasured education. I came here, started teaching, got my license and started teaching. I got into Montessori education through our last son. My husband and I have 5 children. One of them is sitting right there, starting our own family with my son-in-law, Chris, and she's the middle child. Our last son brought me into Montessori education. And what I loved about it has been simple. The definition that education is a help to life. It's not about getting that big job and the big check. Yes, that will come. But a life that is fulfilled will get the money. The money will just come. So once I retired, I wanted to do something about the land that raised me, my roots, the place that made me actually survive in the United States. And that is the children in Uganda. I don't know how much you know about Uganda and northern Uganda. Uganda is a small country the size of Oregon. And how many people live there? What did he say?
42 million.
Yeah, so think about that. Try to put 42 million in Colorado and see what happens. The story of the children got worse in northern Uganda when 30,000 children were abducted. The war is over since 2005, 2006, but the scars of wars are everywhere, especially on children. Imagine this, that 38% of the children in Uganda, especially in rural areas, especially in the northern areas, one of the 6 poverty areas, 38% do not finish 7 years of education. That means an illiterate group of people are growing up. And every time I go to Uganda, about twice a year, I am just blown away that my generation are more literate than the children who are 10, 13. That keeps me awake. And I wanted to start a fresh start. And I thought, the Montessori education, of course. Find a place, a shade. And so under the mango tree, 2018 April, we just went with my Montessori friends, literally my Montessori friends, and started a Montessori outdoor learning experience under the mango tree so the board members and the community could see there was no mystery in Montessori. Montessori actually started among poor people in Italy. And the magic was that the children were using their hands, water, washing their hands, washing their clothes. We told stories. And now the concept has grown fully into a school. There's still no building, but it's a school in the heart of the people in that area. It's among the urban poor. We have the land, we surveyed, it's within the municipal, so the building needs to be approved by the municipal engineer. That process has made me sick. But I am not the president of the world, so I must go along with what is required. To date, we hope to build just a kind of a log house and get the children there, at least 80 children. We found a wonderful training Montessori place Africanized Montessori place in Nakuru, Kenya. So we are training 4 people there. I was daring enough to take a 12-hour bus ride into Nakuru just 3 or 4 weeks ago. Came back alive and still standing alive. My ears did suffer a lot. But we hope that you will share that story, that when we start with young children, there's a chance. There's a chance that they will just be joyful about life. Actually, young children don't know that they're poor unless they don't eat, or they don't have clean water, and they're sick because of dirty water and because of lack of food. The goal is to energize that community. It's among the urban poor, but they, with 1 week of that outdoor school, they tasted the joy of education and the joy of seeing the children happy. One child went home and said, "Bring all the dirty dishes. Papa, bring all the dirty cups." She's 3 years old, all the way to the ground there. She washed all the cups. And the next day, Dad comes to school walking like this. I say, "Hi, what's..." He said, "I want to see what you guys are doing with these kids." So it is that we hope that in February of next year, that the municipal will give us a green light to start with 80 children in that shed while the building is still going through its stuff. The fundraising to do a building is going on. My current hope is to raise money to do a borehole by January so that there's clean water. The joy of those children is that they can start a foundation that enables them to finish 7 years of education and become literate, to have eyes to live today. I thank you for listening.